The regular council meeting of the Village of Armada will now come to order. Will everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I was looking at my other papers here and reading something else.
Adjust your glasses.
All right. Roll call, please. Clerk.
Clark.
Here.
Conan.
Here.
Wolock.
Here.
Ballard.
Here.
Sletz.
Here.
Belkey.
Here.
And of course, you've got our attorney here too, so right?
I hope so.
We don't want to miss him.
You don't.
Next is the approval of the agenda. What is the council's wishes, please?
Mr. President, I'll move the agenda be accepted as presented.
Support. Been moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And now is the citizen comments. Open up the floor, state the name for the record, and you have 3 minutes to state your questions or answers or problems.
Is he going?
Pardon me?
Are you going?
No.
Okay. I do have one thing I want to say. Good evening. My name is Kevin Grant, village president. Just two things. I commented a few weeks ago about updating the village website with the agendas and the calendar. And I'm not sure who exactly was responsible, but I just want to pass along a thank you to that individual. Another thing, kind of dovetailing on those comments I had made earlier, I had asked what the possibility was of getting the packets for the meeting possibly included on the website. And I understand Mr. Bohorski is here. If there's any questions that can be directed towards him, if that can be addressed tonight, that will be appreciated. Thank you for your time.
Well, our clerk does handle the agendas, you know, and the meeting records. So she does handle all of that. She does do everything as far as correcting or adding.
Okay.
So she's done a good job on it.
Wasn't a complaint.
Anything else? If not, there's no presentations tonight. Next is the administrative reports. Steve, do you have anything for F&B or?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. I believe everybody's got their F&B report. It was a little late the last meeting because of the weather and such, so I just saw it today myself. We've got some paperwork from McMillan Association Consulting. We'll have them come down and go through the plant and investigate the heating and air conditioning and electrical and such. So there's a report on that. There's also an SRF project plan. Has to do a little bit with the meeting I attended a couple weeks ago with Mike Faith and Dennis Ryan from DEQ down at the plant. And we got back information from Northern Electric. They did the week-long test down there at the plant about the electrical. And they did have 3 instances of abnormal electric. And I guess the next step, I've talked about this, is to contact DTE. So I'll get with the guys down at the plant, find out who we had talked to when Edison checked things, and maybe submit that to that person and see where it goes from there. So that's all I've got right now.
Thank you. You have the building report and any other liaison reports?
The Planning Commission last week, we had a meeting, 3 of us in attendance. We do need 2 more members. We elected officers, and we went over the DDA budget, which is in the packet tonight.
Very good, thank you.
Mr. President, just an update on the council business liaison. So I have met with both ABA and a representative of ABA and a representative of the Chamber of Commerce, and both groups are very pleased that we've, started this liaison effort. I did get one question from one of the groups regarding business participation in some of the village activities. So we replied back that council and the zoning board, you have to be an elector of the village. However, planning, you can't have up to 2 members that are not electors of the village. So they're aware of that. They're interested. So they may come and talk to the planning commission about some possibilities. You may see a request to have somebody come on.
Okay, well, they can just come into the clerk's office and get an application and go from there.
Okay.
Fine.
Letter of interest. Yeah.
Letter of
Yeah.
interest, right?
Right.
Yep.
Very good. Anyone else on liaison? So you have a Comcast franchise agreement too, which Joe has been the contact person with that, but that is in your packet also, please. Next, we're going to go to the general business, which is a consent agenda, approval of the regular council meeting minutes of January 28th of 19, and the payment of bills. What is the council's wishes, please?
I'll move the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
And second?
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Are you abstaining from minutes, Dave?
Dave?
Yeah, I guess I should.
Yeah.
All right, old business, we don't have any tonight. New business, CBDG, public hearing, 7 o'clock. That was a carryover from that.
I'll explain it. Okay, I had publishing error. So when I send in my stuff to CDBG to the county, we need to have our proof of publication, which I did not have. So we're reholding this meeting. We did this at the January 14th meeting. As long as, council is comfortable, I'm requesting that you please keep everything the same. I'll be able to send everything into the county tomorrow. We're well within our time limits. We have until the end of the month. But in order to comply with HUD's requirements, we have to rehold this meeting. So that's what this is.
Okay, at this time then we will entertain a motion for the said business.
Mr. President, I'll resolve to open the public hearing to approve the fiscal year 2019-2020 CDBG program at 7:09 p.m.
Support. Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Yes, roll call, please.
Ballard,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Wolock,
Yes.
Suggs,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Belkey.
Yes.
Yep, we got it.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So, any questions from the audience or council, please? Hearing none,
I'll move to close the public hearing at
7:10.
7:10.
Support?
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
No, not to close.
Oh, you don't want to close?
No,
Okay. All right.
just open.
All right, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
I want to add, just now that we're back in the council discussion, I did talk to Care House and to Sandy Hoxie, who was here for PAL, and the county. Obviously, they're all aware that we had to redo this. And I told Sandy that I would, because she could not be here. So she says, just please ask council to, you know, to stay with how we went before. I did not contact the Crest or Samaritan House only because they weren't present, so they were unaware of what we had given them anyways. So there was no point in going any further than I did. But, so everybody's aware of what happened too. I just didn't say that in the beginning, so.
Mr. President, I'll resolve to approve the fiscal year 2019-2020 CDBG program based upon an entitlement of $10,000 and allocated as follows. Capital projects, senior home repair program, $7,500. Program services, McCrest program services, $200. Samaritan House, $200. Armada PAL, $1,400. Care House, $400. And Shore program, $300.
For a total.
For a total of $10,000.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? Wait, roll call on that one.
Yeah. Ballard?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Conan?
Yes.
Sluts?
Yes.
Belkey?
Yes.
Wolock?
Yes, motion carried. Next is a DDA budget approval. What is the council's wishes?
President, I'll resolve to approve the proposed fiscal year 2019-2020 budget for the Downtown Development Authority.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not,
Ballard?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Belkey?
Yes.
Conan?
Yes.
Wolock?
yes,
Sluts?
Yes.
motion carried. Next is design services proposal for wastewater treatment plant improvement. We have Mr. Doug Skiles here tonight also. Steve, did you want to address something first?
I know we allocated $30,000 probably a month and a half ago, so we could get roads started on this. And we're going to be needing more money. We're coming up with some due dates, and as far as I know, this will be paid out of the SRF, but we may need to subside some of that as we go along, and maybe Doug can help out a little bit with.
The proposal is to perform design services to finish the design of the treatment plant, to get through the SRF process, put the project out for bids, apply for permits. As Steve said, the council authorized us to begin the process a little while ago. We've been at it. You saw the report that Steve referenced earlier from McMillan and Associates. We had them come out and evaluate the electrical and the heating and ventilation. And so they provided a report with some recommendations, so we'll be incorporating those recommendations. In the meanwhile, the design's been moving forward, and needless to say, we have a fair amount of work ahead of us to get done, but in a pretty short period. So that's what the proposal is for those design services to take you through design up through the bidding process with the SRF.
Doug, I know it's really early, but are you thinking this is probably more of a general contractor
Yeah.
situation? So you'll probably have a GC bid on it,
Yeah.
and then they'll do all, run the project basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have a general contractor, and then they'll sub out what they need to, whatever they don't do, and work through it from there.
Now, are you guys going to be doing inspection on the construction?
Well, I mentioned in this proposal that we'll present you with that once
Okay,
we're.
that has nothing to do with this.
No.
This is strictly design.
Because I think before we do that, we want to sit down and talk about the scope and how much effort you want on our part at the plant and et cetera. And as I mentioned before, plant work takes a while. So this isn't something that you're gonna take bids on in July, start in August and be done in a couple months. You'll take bids on in July, and then we gotta wait for the state to do their paperwork. Then we'll get the process rolling, but then there's shop drawings and ordering equipment, which would be many months. Then once all the equipment starts to come in, they know they can get things lined up. Then they'll start construction, but it'll be at least a year or longer for the plant work.
Is it a significant amount of time, long lead time for the materials?
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, the work we've been doing, anything with motors and controls, not to mention specialized plant stuff, has been 12 to 16 weeks. Once the shop drawings have been reviewed and approved and the order is placed, just to get you in the queue with the manufacturer. And then it depends on how well they hold to their schedule.
Yeah, right.
The other thing too, I mean, realistically, whenever you design a project like this, it's pretty intricate.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna be blowing up Doug's phone asking, okay, what did you mean on this drawing or this sheet? So that's fairly common with GCs.
Yeah.
You know, and I will also add that, you know, you do want to control your GC. I mean, they bid a project, but you know, they're going to ask for change orders or things like that, and we really wouldn't have anybody besides Roe to break that down and say, yes, this is a good change, yes or no, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know anybody here that would have that level of expertise to handle those requests, but that's just the way the GC process works. They have their ideas about how things should be. They might want to change something. There may be something that is at the site that Doug and his team didn't even realize that they have to work through. So they'll put a, you know, Ross, they'll put a cost to every one of those changes.
Absolutely.
We need someone to say, no, that's in time and material, or that's, you know, per unit, or so. I would anticipate that you will have some additional engineering going forward.
And again, as far as I know, I mean, all this money was coming out of the SRF, but we may have to come up with some out of pocket
Until you're
ahead of that till we get the bond going. So.
The other thing that Steve mentioned is the council approved the Northern Electric to do a power study. They were very quick. I think they were out there that Friday setting their equipment right after you guys approved it. They did a 10-day study. So I know very little about power, and what they had in the report was an awful lot of graphs showing things, but it's pretty intricate. But their main objective was, in the 10 days that we studied this, you had 3 incidences at the plant where your power wasn't good. So we went to McMillan, who was out there to do the review, to have them review it, electrical engineers, and they said, yeah, it's definitely looks like it's a problem with DTE. So we said, well, how do you know it's not the transformer?
Right.
Because we did the study on the downside of the transformer, and they said, well, if it were the transformer, you'd likely have power drops, not increases. And what you had were surges coming through, and it looked like on all 3 of the phase legs coming in. And you guys have been battling electric problems out there for a couple of years.
Which sets off alarms.
It does, not only that, but like the HVAC equipment that was just put in and the equipment that is going to go in are all operated on electronic components. So that's what starts them, stops them, controls them. They're much more sensitive to the power issue. So I suggested to Steve to get a hold of the person from DTE you guys worked with. Northern put right in their letter, send this to your utility provider, they'll know. And so I think we gotta apply some pressure to DTE to see what they're willing to do about it. Yeah, I think that it's been challenging up to now, but when the newer equipment goes in, it's gonna create more problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Lyle, do you have any good names down there?
Yeah, I have a guy that at least I can give you a name and maybe I can point you.
Okay,
So-
but I'll also try and contact who we had down there
And one thing
before.
about DTE is they have community representatives for regional areas. They're a great go-to person because they're there to help field questions from their clients and then guide you through their process. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions of Doug? With that being said, I resolve to approve the design service proposal from Rural Professional Service Incorporated for the wastewater treatment plant improvements for a cost not to exceed $175,150, which includes the $30,000 previously authorized at the regular council meeting of October 22nd, 2018.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, we want a roll call.
Clark,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Wolock,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Pelkey.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, Doug. No up and coming agenda items. Does the council have any?
Keep the sewer plant on the list here.
Pretty soon we'll be getting you.
Under administrative or under old business or
Old business.
old business?
Yeah.
Right, got that. Now it's, floor is open up to citizen comments again. State name for the record and have 3 minutes. Hearing none, seeing none, we'll move on. Council comment.
Just remember you have budget workshop next Monday, 5:30.
Next Monday at 5:30, yes.
I do want to thank all of the residents for their timely cleaning of the sidewalks. It was very good. I realized it was very cold out there, but I think they did a very good job. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard. Community events. Is there any that council wishes to announce? If not, we don't have a closed session tonight. And next is adjournment. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Time is 7:23. I'll move to adjourn.
Second. By Mr. Velke. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.